Hello everyone, I'm Jong-Seok Lee from Yonsei University in Korea. I'd like to present our work on learning conjunctive information of signals in multi-sensor systems. This work was done by my former student Seong-Eun and myself. Multi-sensor systems are the systems used to monitor the states of users or environments using multiple sensors at the same time. We can think of a system of sensors like gyroscopes and accelerometers placed over the body for activity recognition. Weather forecasting also relies on multiple sensors over a wide area. Autonomous driving also uses multiple sensors to recognize the situations around the car. In these cases, these sensors are all observing the same object or at least closely related objects. So, there exists relationship between the signals from the sensors. When you consider the activity classification, the sensor signals are related because of the structural organization of the body. For instance, arms and legs have synchronized movements when we walk. As another example, let's consider the brain signal classification, specifically EEG. In our brain, there are a lot of neurons and they are connected to each other, so the brain activities at different regions have relationship functionally. So this kind of relationship provides useful information about the states of the target that is being observed. Previous approaches exploiting the relationship usually rely on manually defined quantitative measures of the relationship. For example, the distance between sensors, and measures like correlation or coherence between signals have been used. However, these measures only for particular predefined aspects of the relationship, and in addition, they are not optimized for the given task. To address these issues, we propose an end-to-end deep learning approach to learn so-called conjunctive information between the signals in multi-sensor systems. So our approach is fully data-driven, multi-aspect, and target-oriented. Let me explain the proposed method in detail. This figure shows an overview of the proposed method. There are three components: the encoder, decoder, and classifier. The encoder takes a pair of signals, xi and xj, and produces some feature, r. And this feature is used together with xj to reconstruct xi in the decoder. Here the feature r is called the conjunctive information. It contains the information of xi for the reconstruction using xj. And the conjunctive information for all sensor pairs composes the connectivity matrix, and this is the input for the classifier. Here's about the training of the model. The decoder is trained to minimize the reconstruction error, and the classifier is trained with the conventional cross-entropy for classification. And the encoder is connected to both decoder and classifier, so it is trained with both reconstruction loss and the classification loss. The dimension of the connectivity matrix is m by m by d. Here m is the number of sensor pairs and d is a hyperparameter. The connectivity matrix can be symmetric to consider undirected connectivity, or it could be non-symmetric to have the directionality. In our paper, we apply the proposed method to two problems. The first one is activity recognition using 12 accelerometers placed on the body, as shown on the right side, and we use the opportunity database. The network architecture is shown in the table on the right side. The encoder is a simple CNN, decoder is a fully connected network, and the classifier is another convolutional neural network. The graph on the left side shows the F1 score for different values of D, and we tested both directed and undirected cases. Our method records the best performance, which is 0.814, using the directed connectivity when D is equal to 32. When we tried the K nearest neighbor, the F1 score is only 0.469. We also tried the previous approaches using bidirectional long short-term memory, and we obtained 0.685. When you try a method using a network having both convolutional and recurrent layers, you obtain a little bit higher performance as 0.737, but this is still far below the performance of our method. We also tested our method without the reconstruction branch, in other words, the decoder. Then the whole model is quite similar to a normal convolutional network. In this case, we obtained a F1 score of 0.755, showing that the reconstruction branch plays an important role to extract useful conjunctive information. We analyzed the results using the GradCam method. For the connectivity metrics, we applied the GradCam, and then we could identify the important elements, meaning the sensor pairs in the matrix for classification. We show the result on the connectivity matrices and also on the sensor configuration. We can observe that the contributions of different sensor pairs are quite different depending on the class. And also we can see that the relationship between arms and other parts appears useful. Next, we conducted experiments on EEG-based video classification. The task is to identify which video the subject was watching based on 32-channel EEG signals. And in this case, we used the DEAP database. In this experiment, we tested only undirected connectivity metrics because of the high computational complexity of the directed case. So our best accuracy is about 98%, and this is a lot higher than the previous approaches like K nearest neighbor, random forest, and graph CNN method, and CNN method using phase locking value. Actually, the last one is our previous work, and in this work we used the convolutional neural network, and the input was connectivity matrix using phase locking value. In this approach can be considered as a simplified version of our method without encoder and decoder. So the results show that learning the connectivity metrics can improve the performance significantly compared to the case where the connectivity is manually defined. Well, someone may ask a question that maybe using all different manually defined connectivity measures can improve the performance. So we concatenated 3 different connectivity measures: correlation, phase synchronization, and information flow. But the performance was even lower to 72%. So this shows that a simple combination of handcrafted features is not effective. Here's a summary. In this paper, we proposed an end-to-end deep learning models to learn conjunctive information between signals in multi-sensor systems. The proposed method is able to measure various aspects of relationship between signals. The proposed method is data-driven, so it can be applied to various domains, and it is optimized for the given task for the best performance. Thank you very much.